Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if the last moments of someone you adored were hidden from you? What if there's a truth yet to be revealed? A piece of a story so shocking, it leaves everyone gasping for answers. Well, today we have exclusive footage that might change everything you thought you knew about Menglong's tragic end. The private party that Menglong attended just hours before his tragic passing was supposed to be an evening of joy and celebration, yet it has now become a symbol of the unsettling moments that preceded his death. The footage from the CCTV cameras, recently uncovered, gives us a rare glimpse into the actor's final hours, offering a unique perspective on what might have been a calm before the storm. The atmosphere of the event was relaxed, yet there was an underlying tension that not even the festive ambience could mask. Menglong, known for his warm smile and calm demeanor, appeared to be his usual self at the beginning of the night. He moved through the crowd, exchanging pleasantries, toasting with friends, and maintaining the image of a cheerful, gracious guest. But to those paying close attention, there was something in his eyes that spoke volumes. He seemed distant, almost as if he were physically present but emotionally detached from the celebration unfolding around him. This subtle shift in his demeanor was captured in the footage, but no one could have known the depth of its meaning at the time. As the evening wore on, the party grew louder, the laughter and conversation became more animated, yet Menglong became quieter. He was still engaging with others, but there was an almost imperceptible change. He no longer seemed as eager to participate. At one point, he stepped away from the group to make a brief phone call. The footage doesn't reveal who he was speaking to, but it's clear from his body language that something was weighing on him. Upon returning, a guest who had been lingering near him approached once again, engaging him in a private conversation. The conversation, though silent to the viewer, seemed to carry an unspoken tension, with Menglong's cautious glances and defensive posture suggesting that something was amiss. For those watching closely, the unease in his actions was palpable. The man who stayed near him throughout the night, a figure now at the center of the investigation, lingered in Yu's space more than anyone else. Was this coincidence, or was something more sinister unfolding right before our eyes? As Yu's final moments continued to unfold, the calm exterior of the party slowly gave way to an unspoken storm, one that would leave everyone questioning what had truly happened that night. The tension in the room became palpable as Menglong, once the life of the party, subtly shifted into a quieter version of himself. His interactions, while polite, felt measured, calculated even. He was no longer the carefree actor who effortlessly captivated those around him. Instead, his smile seemed to mask an unease, a discomfort that became more evident as the evening wore on. Among the guests at the party, one individual in particular stood out. This person had been lingering near Yu throughout the night, seemingly hovering around him, and it soon became clear that their connection was more significant than it appeared. The tension between them was undeniable, though it was not immediately apparent to the other partygoers. At one point, Yu stepped aside from the group to make a brief phone call. While the footage didn't capture the conversation, his body language told a different story. There was a sense of urgency in his movements, and as he returned to the party, his eyes darted around, searching the room as if to ensure he was still in control of the situation. It was then that the guest, who had been so close to him all night, approached again. They engaged in a private conversation, one that lasted several minutes. From the way Yu held himself, it was clear he wasn't entirely comfortable. He glanced around, perhaps aware of the watchful eyes around him. His usual calm and collected nature seemed to have dissipated, replaced by a growing sense of wariness. The conversation between them, though silent to the viewers, was charged with unspoken tension. It wasn't just the closeness of the guests that stood out. It was the way Yu seemed to shrink into himself in their presence. His once radiant energy, the hallmark of his charm, now appeared drained. This moment, captured on film, is perhaps one of the most revealing glimpses into the actor's last night. it raises a haunting question. What did you know in those final moments? What was it about this individual that caused him to withdraw, to become so visibly anxious? The unseen tension between them continues to linger in the footage, a silent scream for answers that, to this day, remain elusive. As the night wore on, the atmosphere of the party became increasingly erratic, with laughter and chatter filling the room. But Menglong seemed to be fading into the background. The vibrant energy that had once defined him was now replaced by a somber quietness, his presence almost becoming invisible amidst the growing commotion. It was as though the space around him had transformed into something foreign, where even the joy of others could no longer reach him. His gaze wandered from his drink to the floor, and his smile, though still present, no longer reached his eyes. The jovial energy that the others seemed to bask in seemed to only weigh him down, as if a heavy burden was pushing him deeper into silence. It was during these moments, in the quietness of his own retreat, that something significant happened. Despite the noise and distractions of the party, remained isolated, even though physically surrounded by friends and acquaintances. He became an observer, not a participant. His body language spoke louder than any words ever could. He seemed caught in a web of thoughts too heavy to share, too complex to articulate. He was no longer part of the celebration. He was distant, lost in his own world, trying to retreat into a space where he could momentarily escape whatever thoughts haunted him. Then came the moment that would define his final appearance in the footage. Menglong quietly slipped out of the room, almost unnoticed. The movement was subtle, almost as though he didn't want to draw attention to himself, as if slipping away quietly was his only option. But he was not alone. The same figure who had hovered around him all evening, the one whose presence had become an unsettling constant, accompanied him. The guest who had shared those private moments of tension now walked alongside you. Their steps aligned as if they were heading towards something unknown, something that none of the partygoers could see. This was the last time Menglong was seen on camera, and the simplicity of his departure, quiet, unnoticed, unceremonious, was perhaps the most haunting aspect of all. It felt as though he was slipping away into the unknown, into a space where even the noise of the party couldn't follow him. The gravity of the moment was in the silence that followed, in the absence of any grand gestures or final words. He had left the room, leaving behind nothing but questions, and the finality of his departure echoed louder than any celebration ever could. Investigators are now racing against time. With the newly recovered footage, they're piecing together the timeline of Yu's final hours. They're examining digital timestamps, reviewing guest lists, and trying to track every movement. Every frame of that CCTV footage could hold the key to unlocking what really happened. And there's one name at the center of it all, the guest who stayed close to you all night. Could this footage be the critical breakthrough that reveals who was behind Yu's tragic death? Could it explain why a man who had so much to live for was taken from us so suddenly? The authorities are not just looking at what happened that night. They're also searching for the answers buried in the silences, the gestures, and the actions that spoke louder than words. As the investigation continues, the outpouring of support from fans is overwhelming. Across social media, from China to the far corners of the globe, the hashtag Justice for Menglong is trending. Fans are demanding answers, justice, and the truth. Menglong wasn't just an actor. He was a symbol of kindness, sincerity, and talent. To see him in such a vulnerable position, to know that there are still so many unanswered questions about his death, is heartbreaking for those who loved him. But amidst the sadness, there's a shared belief that this footage will finally shed light on the truth. That Menglong's legacy won't be tainted by mystery and despair, but by the courage to seek justice and expose the truth. And the fans? They're ready to fight for that truth, no matter what it takes. If you feel as passionately about uncovering the truth behind Menglong's death, if you believe in justice for those who can no longer speak for themselves, then hit that subscribe button and join the fight for truth with us. We'll keep you updated on every new revelation, every new piece of evidence that surfaces. Together, we'll make sure Menglong's legacy is remembered the way he deserves. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share this video with those who care about justice. Rest in peace, Menglong. Your story is far from over. Make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, and we'll be right here, bringing you the latest updates on the Menglong case. and many more stories that need to be heard. Until next time, keep searching for the truth.